If you look at me, you would think I'm smoking, right? Just look at me. This many times happened to me. People who were smoking these things in Himalayas and other place, they always invite me because when they look at me, they think I must be a smoker. We need to understand this. Whatever chemicals we put into the system, either in the form of this or that, whichever way, essentially it can only ignite something within us. It cannot by itself cause too much to us. Only those kind of things which will put you to sleep totally, like an anesthetic, they work in a different way. They completely knock you down. But all the others which have some sense of experience, they're only stimulating something within you. Now the question is, are you self-start or push-start? If you know how to stimulate yourself, you can sit here in great pleasure. Otherwise, you have to put something from outside. Shiva was not such a cripple that he needed chemicals from outside. He was stoned, no question about that. But by what is another matter. He is not using substance, he is the substance. So, I can make that happen for you. If you can be with me in a certain way, I can have you all stoned out. Because the substance is not outside, the substance is within. So, those who want to emulate Shiva, first they must sit unmoving for 3 months. And then maybe they can smoke also. This happened. Adi Shankara was walking. He's a brisk walker he must have been, because at the age of 32 he left. Before that, from the age of 12 to 32, in those 20 years, he crisscrossed India a few times, north from Kerala right up to Badrinath and back and east, west, everything. The man must have been a really brisk walker. To do so much walking in a short span of life, because in between he produced thousands of pages of literature. He must sit somewhere to write all this. So he was walking briskly, behind him a bunch of his disciples trotting. Then he saw outside a village, those days in India, even just about 25-30 years ago, these drink shops, the country drink, usually is arak or toddy, they were only outside the village, never it was brought into the village. Now it's in the village, next to your house, in front of your child's school, they're selling alcohol, that's different. Those days, always it's outside the town. So there a few people will gather and they're drinking. Shankara looked at them in their inebriated condition. They looked at him, he looked straight and upright. Drunkards always think they're having the best time, unfortunately. They always think they're having the best time of their life and everybody else is missing it. So they made some comments. So without a word, Shankara walked into the shop. There was a pot full of arak. He just took it and drank it and kept it there and walked. So the disciples saw their guru drank up a whole pot full of arak. Then he started walking briskly. Behind him they're trotting, among themselves discussion. When our guru can drink, why can't we drink? They just needed an excuse. So, they were discussing this and he knows what's happening. So he came to the next village, they're walking through. There was a blacksmith working with some molten iron. He just went, picked up that thing and drank it and walked on. They knew this they don't want to drink. So, even if Shiva smoked, I don't think he did. He was stoned for sure. Not with something as petty as some weed. For sure he's stoned, no question, always. Even if he did smoke, can you do everything else that he does, I'm asking? Qualification is 3 months if you can sit unmoving, I will provide you the substance. So, people thinking by smoking marijuana and feeling little smoked out, all that's happening is you're getting little hazy in your head. If getting hazy is spirituality, then I don't want to be spiritual. For me, the biggest thing is this crystal clear way of living. Getting hazy is not life, that happens in death. Yes, life will be hazy at that time. When you're sick and dying, life will be hazy. When you're alive, clarity is the most important thing, and clarity can be intoxicating. When you do something that is super alert, you will find that there is an intoxication in that. Why do you think all these people jumping off mountains, jumping off airplanes, doing incredibly risky things is because in being super alert, there's another kind of intoxication. But they're doing it by doing so many physical things. If you could sit here and do it, then I would say an element of Shiva has come to you. If you can simply sit here and you're super alert, so alert that you're stoned, that is a way to get stoned. Not smoking weeds. Leave the weeds for the cows. Okay, human beings can do better things. And today the entire world is talking about it because they haven't found any other better way. There is substantial research on this. They're saying 8-point drop in one's IQ will happen. You don't have to go to any research. Those who are generally on this smoke, if you see them, they're acting peaceful, but you don't give them their substance for 2 days, you will see how cranky they become. Yes, every day you give the dose, they're nice, peaceful. You will be peaceful when you're hazy, but that peace is of no value. And one thing is, don't give them the substance for 3 days, you will see they will explode. They will not be peaceful if you take away the substance. Today, of course, it's become legal in many states in America. Many big corporates are getting into it. It is just that because you don't know how to handle your brain, which is not your making. Previous generations have evolved and come to this place and you don't know how to handle this, you want to smoke it down a little bit so that it feels peaceful. That's not the answer. If you take away the substance for some time, then you will see your peace will fly. There's nothing spiritual about any chemical. If you have not found any better use for your brain except freaking, marijuana will do good things. At least you don't bother anybody, you smoked out and you simply sit somewhere. If you found better use for your brains, that your brain can do something worthwhile, something creative, something useful, then that's not the way to go.
No, somebody said this a long time ago. There have been instances where, somebody dies, those things just moving around here and there by themselves. In the immediate few days after the person is dead, unless you're sufficiently established and in a certain level of capability, you should not look in that direction. What you should do is you stop relating to the dead. One thing that you need to understand is someone is your grandmother, your mother, your father, whoever they are to you. Whatever they might have been to you, however dear they might have been to you, however close and intimate they might have been to you. The moment they shed their body, their general sense of mind, intellect and emotion, your business with them is finished. They left all those things here, right? Yes? All those things they left here. All the things that you knew about them is finished. Some other sap is still on, but you never had any relationship with that sap. Your relationship is with the other aspects. All those aspects were shed when that person died. So, the only thing that you do when somebody dies is you cherish the beautiful moments that you had with them, that's all. If there was something beautiful, you cherish that, otherwise just forget about them. Don't try to work your guilt and your problems through the dead. It can just become very complicated. It can become very, very complicated. Leave the dead to the dead. No, somebody said this long time ago. You must leave the dead to the dead. You have no business with them. Unless you're in a certain level of mastery of your own whatever, you shouldn't even look in that direction, because you could just completely run around in your life by trying to do something silly. So there may be tendencies which may make people do certain things, but it doesn't mean anything. Just doesn't mean anything. Someone who doesn't have a body doesn't have any business with food or clothes or anything, isn't it? Yes. Only if you have a body, you must go towards food and clothes. Once you lost your body, what business do you have with food and clothes? It is when so much emotion is mixed up, there are so many things which will happen within you and outside of you. There's no need to you're going there, just what is the work to do it, do your sadhana. Be with the man who's still alive, stop trying to be with the dead. Just be with your grandfather who is still alive, do your best for him, because he will also die. I'm not wishing him dead, he'll also die, isn't it? So when you're with him for a short while, just do your best. See how to enrich your life and his life for those few moments that you're there, rather than doing all kinds of fanciful things with your grandmother. Your grandmother's business is over. She has no business to come and look in a cupboard. It is just that there is a certain residual element in clothes that people have owned. See, all these things were taken care of. People understood these things as a normal procedure, not realized beings, normal people. It is so much built into the culture. If a person dies, all the clothes which were in touch with that person's body and too much in touch with that person's body, those kind of clothes are all burnt, they're never kept. Only clothes that that person occasionally wore, such things are given only to your blood relative, nobody else. To your daughter or a granddaughter or a son or somebody like this. And that also, first 1 year you should not wear it. Till the first anniversary of the death anniversary happens, you should not wear those clothes. Why these things are is, whatever when we are here, whatever we are in touch with, a certain amount of this energy is there in it. If you give it a certain kind of opportunity, these clothes will start behaving funny. Your grandmother need not come. These clothes themselves will start acting funny because, see, there is something called a static, you're experiencing this. You touch your car door, it just goes chuck. Why is this? The car is not generating electricity, isn't it? Why is this happening? Just in association with something, it gets little charged. Similarly, whatever is in close association with your body, it will get a certain amount of that quality. Do you know how occult is done? We want to cause harm to you. You know what they do? The first thing that they do is, they will take your underwear or hair. If they can get a body part, yes, your hair or nails if they get, that is very good, that's part of your body. If they can't get it, the first thing they will do is some clothing which is in contact with your body. First thing is, your underwears will be missing. Really, people take enormous care in India. They will always ensure that underwear is never put outside, because if one underwear goes, they will investigate in a big way what happened, because they don't want somebody, some unfriendly person who is some enmity to you to take that. Especially unwashed clothes, with lots of care it is handled in our homes. These days it's all going away because we're just giving away to the dhobi or, the washerman who takes it and all. Otherwise, traditionally in our homes, it is so taken care of. It is all put in a closed basket. Somebody who knows inside the house it must be washed, it should never be taken out. Because if they can take a body part, like hair or this thing, then that's different. But just this clothing itself, they can do things to you because it carries a certain amount of your thing. So even when a person dies, the same is true, and that can crackle up a little bit. If a certain kind of energy is on, that aspect can crackle up. There have been instances, I don't know if I should go into this. You're interested in spooky stories? There have been instances where, somebody dies and, like she's saying right now, actually things moving around, especially things that they intimately used, those things just moving around here and there by themselves. In the immediate few days after the person is dead, that person is not coming and moving anything. It is just that whatever your energy that was associated with that is sort of withdrawing. In the process of withdrawal, there'll be a little bit of extra moment. See, now your engine is on, the car, standing there without any too much vibration. When you switch it off, when it's just dying down, do you see little extra shake in the car? Have you noticed it? These days cars are built in such a way that you don't notice it much, but the older engines you see, when you switch it off, it'll go. It's stopping. Actually it should recede, but that's not how it is. From one mode to another mode, when it shifts, there will be a little extra reverberation. Similarly, your engine is going off, now there'll be little extra shake all over the place. That extra shake is mistaken to be ghost walking all over the place. No, it is not about any ghost walking. It is just a certain withdrawal of energy that some things may happen, not necessarily every time. A lot of things are imagined by people, but it can happen. It does happen. So, for all these things, to ensure that those things are cleaned up, If a person dies today, after 3 days, we will do one kind of procedure. On the 11th day, we'll do another kind of procedure. On the 13th day, we'll do another kind of procedure. At the 40th day, we'll do another kind of procedure. All this is to ensure that no residue of that person remains, so that dead can be packed and sent, living can continue their life. If the living get involved with the dead, they will lose their life in so many ways. All this spooky thing is sort of intriguing, but it can just consume your life in so many different ways, in many ways, in ways that you will not understand right now, and in ways that need not be very pleasant. It can consume your life completely, your involvement with the dead. This does not mean there is somebody sitting there who's trying to suck your life out. No, just involvement with the dead can just do that. Unless you're sufficiently established and in a certain level of capability, you should not look in that direction. It's not necessary.
मात पिता तुम मेरे प्रभु मेरे गुरु। मात पिता तुम मेरे प्रभु मेरे गुरु। जो है और जो है नहीं, सब कुछ तुम हो सद्गुरु। मात पिता तुम मेरे प्रभु मेरे गुरु। जो है और जो है नहीं, सब कुछ तुम हो सद्गुरु। माँ ने दिया जन्म, पिता ने दिया है नाम। माँ ने दिया जन्म, पिता ने दिया है नाम। अनदेखी एक दिशा बुलाती सुबह हो शाम। हर दिशा में अब तुम ही, किस दिशा को नमन करूं। जो है और जो है नहीं, सब कुछ तुम हो सद्गुरु।